All right, here's our NHL analyst, Martin Biron, to talk about this Leafs overtime loss. However, Marty, what we really want to focus on here is Joe Woll. Two kind of subpar starts in which he allowed a combined 11 goals. Bounces back big time. Doesn't get the win, but played really well on Wednesday night. Do you expect Woll's play, Marty, to determine down the stretch whether this team actually makes the postseason?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to goaltending at the end of the day. Early in the season, not very consistent in the crease with Anthony Stolarz, and now we know Stolarz is going to do that conditioning stint, but most likely just practicing with the Marlies, and Dan will maybe play a game, have a start before the Olympic break. But I think Joseph Woll, since he's been back, he's been very consistent, and I love that response, because not only was he great in the first period, making 14 saves out of 15 shots, but he kept the Leafs into the game. Like, it could have been 3-1 or 4-1 for Detroit after that first period. So you look at Woll and you say, okay, he got the Leafs a point just by his play in the first period. And even in overtime, the shots were 6-0 for Detroit in overtime. And Woll, was trying to do everything to say, I'm just going to buy my team a little bit of time to say they can get back on the offense. Unfortunately, there's a breakdown. Mo Seider gets it over to Larkin. It's in the net. But you look at, Joseph Woll, for me, is about consistency. He's a big goaltender. He limits his movement. And when he's on, he's definitely, I know you got 50 games played already. You're right there, to not only get in the playoff spot, but trying to chase Detroit, Montreal, Tampa in the Atlantic Division. So 32 games to go. I expect that Joseph Woll will have a lot to say about if the Leafs make the playoffs.
And we also expect Brad Treliving to be very busy. We're 2 weeks away from the Olympic roster freeze, Marty. We're 6 weeks away from Trade Center. In your opinion, what's the most pressing need for this Leafs team? A top 6 forward or a top 4 defenseman?
I would say a top 4 defenseman. I would even say maybe look at a top 6 defenseman, but most likely like a right-handed shot. Because you saw against Detroit, you lose one defenseman, you got 5, and it's getting a little thin. You give up 41 shots in that game. So I think you have to have a right-shot defenseman. That could definitely help. But it's going to cost you, right? The Dougie Hamiltons and you got Shen and Falk and those guys, like, that's going to cost you. But I look at the way that the Eastern Conference is, and especially in the Atlantic Division, like, it's wide open. You just make that small addition of a defenseman, and if you can find a top 4, get that top 4 to make a difference. You saw the game against Detroit. It's tight. It's everybody used to say by the end of February, early March, it's playoff hockey. I feel like playoff hockey started in January this year because of the break. Everybody plays tight defensively. The Leafs have to be better defensively. They can score. They still have the players that can put the puck in the net, but they have to find ways to win games 2-1. And for me, you add a defenseman. That is how you're going to be a threat in the Eastern Conference.
For the Leafs, next up, they're home Friday night for Mitchell Marner's return to Toronto at the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Marty, thanks for this.